What's good, everyone, and welcome to Humble Hogs Trading. So, we're going to go ahead and get right into it today, what you came here for, and that is learning how to navigate through Tradingview. So, if you have not signed up to Tradingview yet, go ahead, click the link in the description below. That will navigate you right to tradingview.com to where you can register and get started today absolutely free. You do not need the premium versions to start charting and trading. You can go ahead and get signed up absolutely free today and start trading today. So we'll go ahead and give you a second to get that knocked out, and then we'll get this rocking and rolling. All right, so now that everybody is signed up, logged in, we are now on the home page. But you might be noticing there's a few things that's different on my page compared to yours. But no problem, we can go ahead and make those adjustments. And that's by going ahead and going into your profile settings over here on the icon to the right top. And you can go into settings and billing, and you can upload a new picture and have your logo right there. Your username, you can go ahead and have changed right there, as well as your social media and your website links that can be added right here as well too. Now, just as well, you can change your privacy settings, account settings, you can check out active sessions, you can go through your subscriptions, your payment methods, billing, and much more right here in this profile area. But to make additional changes, we can go past this refer a friend area, past your help center, as well as where your ticket support would be, and as well as what's new with Tradingview. We will see this little option, which is your dark theme. So we can go bright to dark, as well as change language right below that. So whatever is easier on your eyes, whichever you prefer, go ahead and make those adjustments right there. I prefer dark. The bright white is a little bit rough on my peepers. So now that we have everything set up, we can go ahead and find our commodity. Now, by doing that, we go right to the top into the search bar. As soon as you click on it, it's going to pop up all your commodities that you can find that's available on Tradingview, whether it's stocks, funds, futures, forex, crypto, indices, bonds, economy, or options. It's all available right here. When you start getting your favorites going when searching, you'll have a nice little list developing to where you can just highlight on the gray and it'll take you right to your chart, or click launch chart. But if you are looking for a particular commodity and you just don't know where to go, you can just type it right in the search bar. So let's go ahead and hit that SPY so we can navigate right to the SPY chart and be on the same page here. Of course, when you're looking at this, it's not going to be exact because we're going to be on different days. But one thing that should be the same that you're looking at, that you're like, this definitely is not the same as my chart, and it's these colored areas. So what you're probably looking at right now is something like this, and you're missing a lot of information. Your chart is all patchy like a mangy dog, and this cannot be efficient for doing your trading throughout the day. So we need to make some adjustments. So right next to your time zones, we go ahead and click in the time zone to select which is best for our area. I'm in the Midwest, so I'm on Chicago time here. But right next to that, we can go into our sessions and go from regular trading hours to extended trading hours. Now we have our aftermarket session and our pre-market session, and as you see here, a lot of information that we could use to know about imbalances, fair value gaps, as well as how the trend is navigating through there with pullbacks. So a lot of information that's inside of those sessions, so we definitely need those when we are setting our charting for the day. Now, going to the top over here on the right side, we have the watch list. So you can go right here, and whatever commodities that you are keeping track of, it will be available right here. You can delete them if you want to, or you can click on them and it will open up this chart just as such right here. You see that navigates right here. This is an undo, so we can go ahead and go right back to SPY by just clicking that undo, your redo right there. But as well, in the watch list area, you have your news that you can check out. You have charting what's going on. You have all kinds of information that you can view right here, as well as make notes inside of this area for whatever commodities that you are keeping an eye on. So that is very handy right there at the top. Right below that, this is a tool that I use quite a bit throughout the day, and that's alerts. So there's some times where the market is just in heavy consolidation, and it might be like that for a few hours. So instead of watching the screen all day long, I'm just going to go ahead and create an alert. So then I can go ahead by a preference of whether it is your price condition, your indicators condition, you can go ahead and make that adjustment right there. And then just for instance, like price, it can be crossing, or it can be crossing through a price upwards or downwards, and then you can go ahead and put that value right there so that you can just have an alert go off whenever it hits that zone. So then you can go ahead and go back and see how you want to react to the market, or just as such, if you're in a position and you're wanting your take profits to be set on an alert, you can do so right there. Just click create, and you notice you can drag this up and down as well too. So if you got in a position here and you're like, okay, well now I just want to wait for this to hit, then we can go ahead and make sure that it's just on crossing or it's going down. So we can go ahead and make that adjustment and be like, all right, it'll hit there. Once when it hits that and passes back down, we want that bottom zone. But once when it hits a little bit above it, we want to get a signal so we can know to get down and go ahead and make our play if we're going to go ahead and get out, or if we see that it's actually in a deeper momentum and might actually go even further, we can keep an eye on it without watching it all day long and getting analysis paralysis and having our psychosis mess with us. So not only can we adjust it right there, you have your settings that you can hit right there. You have this add condition feature, but this is only available when you have Essential or Plus. So once when you click on it, actually you can only use it for Plus. I forgot about that. So I have Essential, but with Plus, that is only accessible for your add condition right there. I just find that for me, Essential has been a lot more beneficial for me. I used to have Plus, but then I used to use every indicator under the sun, and I just went ahead and for the longest time I just used the free version, and I wasn't going to update anything until I was ready to actually stay consistent with just the bare minimum. Once when I finally went there, then I went ahead and went with the Essential to have a couple of additional indicators that I keep on a separate page. I don't even keep it on my main page right here. I keep them to the side, so it's just additional confirmation now that I have my confidence up on price action. Beautiful thing about Tradingview, you have all kinds of different ways of navigating through this, and you do not need the premium version to get started. And I definitely suggest do not use the premium versions to get started. Start with the bare minimum so you can learn price action and have your go-to indicators to work with. But getting ahead of ourselves here, so you can also as well delete that alert right there. Click right there on the double arrow, drag it to the right if you want to get rid of it, and right here at the top you can go ahead and click that for accessing the alerts as well too. And right below the alerts, what we have here is your object tree. So what this is just keeping an eye on your indicators. If you want to expose them, you can go ahead and click like such, and you can expose your indicators that you are using. And as well too, if you're wanting to hide your commodity for some reason, it has that right there. I don't use this at all though, because we have other features that are on here that you can use that has more than just as well. So click that, drag it over, and we'll go ahead and move on down to the chat area. So this chat area right here, you can go public, you can go private. So if you're having conversations with people that you're following and they're following you linked up, we can go ahead and get access to them, but also just people in general, different types of areas of commodities you can go in, different strategies. You can do chats and get with like-minded individuals such as yourself and be in the know and learn more. So that is available right there, as well as right below that we have your stock screener. So this allows you to check out all your stocks in motion there, as well as you can do a chart view on them to look at all of them, as see what they're working with as far as what trend is like. And you can also change your time frame on there as well too, with your stock screener. Now, right below that, this is a tool I just started getting into, and I'm really digging it. It's taken a while to really hone it in with AI. I'm not a coder, but that's a beautiful thing. Now you can use Grok, you can use Claude AI, ChatGPT, whatever the case may be, but access it and let them know that you're looking to develop a script for Pine Editor, and you can get into detail of what type of indicator you're wanting to build, and it will build it for you, give you the coding. You can copy, paste it right into a fresh new coding, and then you can access that right through your indicator. So I will be doing a video on that later. We're not going to get too in depth in that right now, but this is a very, very cool tool to have. Now, go ahead, double arrows, click that out the way so we're not making a mess. I like to keep my charts nice and clean. So we can go ahead and click on the calendars icon now, and this is your news that's going on. So you have economic news that's sitting right there. So you have earnings that are happening. You can go ahead and stay in the know right here on your calendar for what dates things have happened, and you can go ahead and get an idea on how the economy and your charts are reacting with each other. So I don't listen to the news at all, but I do pay attention to the news for when action is about to happen. We have news that happens in the morning. We have news that happens in the afternoon. So whenever it does pop up, an emergency news pops up, I don't care to listen to the politics. I'm an economist. I am just here to make sure that I am navigating to make more money. That's what we're all here for. But if you're into all that, you can listen to the news. But what I do is I just wait to see how the market's going to react before news, in the middle of news, after news. It can go consolidation mode and be very, very slow while it's waiting on some news to happen and then get a reaction. And from there, you can stay out of that heavy consolidation and not burn your premium up, and just wait and be ready for whatever the market's going to do and then react afterwards. So it's very important to be informed about news, but you do not have to be in the news to be able to use that function right there. And right below that, you have community. So you can go in here and you can get the skinny on whatever indicators are going down. You can go to the home page right here and you can get information on whatever commodity that you are trading. You can get in with people and learn what they are doing. You can also post in here your work as well and get questions answered, or just show your success and everything. The community can be very valuable. You have your notifications that you can check into right here. This is where you can find your post whenever that you are posting, and these are ideas. So when people are posting ideas, you can go ahead and check them out and hear what's the most popular, the editor's pick. You can go ahead and take a look right there, and you can engage in here as well too. So definitely check around what the community has to offer. And right below that, that's your notifications there for if anything does go off, you will be notified. And right below that is your products. So if you see here, we have a flow of these products that are going on. You can hit your favorite and you can have any of these pop up on there. So I have my selects that I stay on there, and this is what I prefer to use, but you can go ahead and make adjustments to whatever preference you want to use on your products as well as your socials. Now right here at the top, we have it to where you can publish and share your idea with the community like we was talking about. So you can put information here, which I'll show you how to do shortly, and you can go ahead and show the community exactly how you've set up your price actions for the day. You can help get some answers if you've got that done right, or if you knew something was done wrong, you can post to see if you can help get some assistance on, hey, I know I did something wrong here, I just don't quite know, what do you think I did? And you can go ahead and make notations of stuff on there, make your price action accessible so people in your community can help you out. Right next to that, you can trade with a broker on here. So you can do paper trading and you can trade with a broker. It's very limited if you're doing options trading. So it's not been around for that long. I think it's a little over a year, maybe 2 years, that options trading has been accessible in TradingView, or at least that's the time frame that I've known about it. So you can click right here and you can access your broker. There's only a few that do options trading. I am aware that Tasty Trade does option trading, as well as Webull and Interactive Brokers. You can do options trading there. I'm just used to my style of trading, so whenever I do lives, I do my paper trading access right here because I'm used to making my trade first on my phone while I'm looking at my screen, and then as soon as I hit that order, I can just hit the buy button over here or the sell button to show what I'm doing in live, since I don't have Robinhood in options trading on TradingView. I've been using Robinhood for a few years now, and I'm just comfortable with them. I've heard a lot of bad stories about Robinhood, but so far I've not had any issue with them. The contracts are pretty fast on there. Of course, I do notice adjustments in the price, so I do think they're chipping a little bit off here and there. Speculation, I don't know if they are, but I really don't have any complaints with them. They're great for getting started, but I am getting to the point now to where it's time to level up and go into different brokers. But that is just how I do my thing. So I use paper trading on here for navigating live, and then I go and do my trading on my phone, so I'm not bouncing back and forth on my computer screens either. Right next to that, you can click your arrows up here at the top, so if you have too much going on up there, it'll navigate over. But this is taking your snapshot. So your snapshot here, this will allow you to take snapshots of everything. So if you're not just sharing on the community within TradingView, you can take a snapshot and download that to where you can have access it to share wherever you are wanting to share that at. And that's just that simple of taking a snapshot right there, and then you can download it. It's already took the snapshot. You can copy the link. You can share it as a tweet image as well too. So that's how the snapshot works. Right over on next to it, I'm not going to click any of my commands at all, but I am very comfortable at using my commands, but I don't want to trigger off my screen recorder at all. I've recorded this video quite a few times because I didn't realize that I was hitting my commands, changing everything on my recorder, and so I been working real hard not to use it because I'm so used to using my commands. But Shift F is how you do full screen mode. Going right over next to it, this is your settings. So if you're wanting to make any adjustments to your settings here, depending on what commodities that you trade in through, or just as well as psychology shows that for a lot of people, the red and the green messes with them when trading. So a lot of people, they like to use whites and blues and grays and things like that, trading with their bars. So you can make those adjustments right here as well too. You can navigate through changing status lines for your instruments and indicators right here, scale lines. I definitely recommend just to check this out. You don't have to really play with anything. You just want to get familiar with your platform. And if you do make changes through here and you like it for one chart, you can go ahead and save this as, and it will save those settings so you can access them at any time. So you can have one chart set one way, one chart set the other way, and see which one works best for you. And now we move on over past the quick search. Right here, you can manage your layouts. So you can set this for autosave. You can share your layout. You can make a copy of your layout. You can rename your layout. This is my primary, and it's the only one that I use, as well as you can download your chart data and you can create a new layout. You can even open your layouts right there in the folder if you have multiple layouts that you're wanting to use. With me, I just use multiple screens, and I have them saved, but they are on different trading views. So I have my premium and then I have my other ones. I'll get into a video on that later as well too. But that is your settings for your pages. So right next to that is your layout setup. So with your layout setups too, you can only go so far doing the layout setups when you have your free version and your essential, just as I'll show you right here. Once when you go into this territory, you need the premium on there, and that's further than the plus. So depends on how you want to set everything up is what you're going to need for your essentials, your plus, your premium, or whatever other plan that you're wanting to go with. So it's all about preference here, and that's what I like about Tradingview. They have options on options. So if you're a simple man, you can keep it free, but if you're wanting multiple options, you can go ahead and make an adjustment for what's best for you. Now, speaking of adjustments, if you make some adjustments that you need to correct, that's all this is. It's your undo, redo that you have access to right there. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, this is only available for premium versions, and I mean that as in essentials plus premium. You can only gain access to that by having one of those plans. You cannot access this through the free option. So what this does, as you see, you can go ahead and select your bar. You can go on to whatever area you're wanting to practice your trading strategy with. So you can, what I prefer to is, like, I'll go up here blindly and I'll just pick a random day, select a bar, and then I'll start off in the pre-market, and then I'll go down to that area, and then I'll do some charting here and go ahead and see how the strategy works out. When you see gaps like this, don't worry, it's not because you're not in your sessions. That means that that's how fast the market moved when it went to pre-market, and it went so far down so fast that it left this gap right here, which this right here is money maker way, and we'll make another video about that as well too, on knowing how to react with gaps. Gaps can be your best friend for making some quick change. Now we'll go ahead and move on past the alerts here and to the indicator template. So you can go right here and access your indicator templates, as we mentioned over here. Open up the templates right here, and you'll see your recently used ones. So you can just do a quick click to access them, and you can save your indicator templates here as well too. Now, right next to that, you'll have your favorite indicators on that drop down arrow. But when you click that chart, you can access your indicators. If you do not have favorite ones yet, if you're new here, now you can go ahead and find your favorite indicators and figure out which ones works best for you for your strategy. And then when you have those access there, they'll pop up right here below. Or if you're using an oscillator, they'll pop up here below. So as you see here, I keep this screen real clean, and I use these oscillators on a different screen because they're just confirmation. I don't want to get analysis paralysis. I want to look at my price action, know exactly how to react to that. Then I can look at everything else to get an additional confirmation. That's all that you're using it for. Price action is key. So moving on past that, we're going into our candles. So the candles right here, this is a ton of options that you go through, just like if you're learning how to figure out where's your higher highs and your higher lows and your lower highs and your lower lows, the direction of the market. You can go ahead and go with the lines that kind of help guide you through it, and you can go ahead and favorite whichever ones you use. So I use candles and I use Heikin-Ashi. The reason why, just as you see with Heikin-Ashi, this has a lot less noise. It's a lot smoother, but there's a lot going in with side of these candles. That's why I use both. This gives me a little bit more confidence of knowing how the trend is reacting to everything, compared to when you're looking at that market right here and you notice pullbacks, that pullbacks are not there at all. We just notice that we have a little bit of movement within that time frame, and also allows you, as you can see, like right here, that's actually an area of where we have the market touching an area. So it's past there, like, okay, we know that's there. But good thing of rule of thumb is whenever we have a candle that's rising up to an area of support or resistance and it pushes up past that, if we're already in the market, we can rest assured that more than likely, majority of the time, it's going to do a pullback to either go back up or it's going to do a pullback to gain right back into support and go down to resistance. So just keep that in mind, and that's where Heikin-Ashi allows you to navigate through both of those forecasts. So very useful to get familiar with your candles and learn which works best for you. Now, when we're over here on this time frame area, you might notice this is different than yours too, because I have multiple time frames. Now you can go ahead and favorite your best time frames that you want to use, so when you're doing your trading, you can have quick access to them. So just whenever I'm getting my day going, I always like to, see how the week is doing. I like to see where the highs for the week is, the lows are for the week, the midpoints in between there. I keep it simple by just, like, for instance, doing my golds at a fat. That lets me go ahead and do that right there. I see that this is pretty close, so I'll do something like this, and then I'll navigate like a green one to this one. And this is not for definite confirmations. This is just for instance of getting my market mapped out. So we won't get too much into that on this one, but you can go ahead, start from there, work your way down. We also seen within the week that we are actually popping in a downward trend possibly, but the week is too far out to do our day trading, so we moved down just to get more confirmation. We see that we actually moved up and we have a pullback, so this can even touch down right here, or it can do a pullback right here on this area and continue to shoot its way up to these zones and meet that area. So that's why you work down the line to get all the data to be prepared to react to the market, not to predict the market. This is all for setting your day for reacting to the market, staying ahead of it. And that's where a lot of people get damaged, is by setting everything and then they figure out how the market's moving and they think it's going to go a particular way. The market is very, very unpredictable at times. So that's why you want to have the mindset of reacting to the market, not predicting the market. But moving on, we're going over here, and this is your cursor area to where if you want your cross, you want such as that, or if you're looking for a dot or the arrow, which I personally use. Demonstration is where it highlights it red, so if you're wanting to show key points on something, you can go ahead and use that cursor as well too. Your magic wand, which I think that's just way too much, as well as your eraser, which I also think that's distracting. But whatever your preference is, I'm going to go back to the arrow right there. Now below that, this is your tools for trend lines, for horizontal lines. Horizontal rays, as you see, are my favorite ones, but you can also add additional ones in here too, whichever you feel comfortable with for throughout the day. But just like, for instance, a trend line, you can go ahead and use that for, okay, we know right there, if it breaks through here, we can keep an eye on that for getting into possibly a put. So that's how you would use your trend line. Your horizontal line right here, you can go ahead and click right there. That goes across the whole time frame, and that will give you a guidance on even a take profit, or if you're having that for a little support and resistance in a middle of a zone area. Your zone's up here, your zone's down here, but you have some action going on in here. You're looking at areas of where could this actually pull back, and that's where you would use these types of lines, which are the horizontal lines. Now the horizontal ray is when you actually are trying to figure out, okay, this is my area that I've seen that it took action like this. This can help you navigate. Instead of looking all the way back, you're looking at a particular area of knowing that if it's going to tap down in that area again, or if it's your support and resistance area between your major zones. So whichever works best for you, but that is how you use those tools right there. Right below that is your Fibonacci bar area, to where you can do your Fibonacci retracements right there, figure out where's a premium area to get in for reacting to the market. So that's how you use your Fibonacci area of going to locate your channels, or if you're looking for a fan or circles, this is your area that you would use your Fibonacci axis, as well as your GANs. I don't use that much, but they are there for accessing, as well as chart patterns and things like this. I don't use these at all either, but they are here if you're trying to use a certain pattern. Now, what you notice up here at the top is this toolbar is where we can access all this to change the colors on everything. If we're wanting to have it to where you have like your premium areas of gold, and then you have your take profit area to be able to hit. If you don't think it's going to have a premium, you can have that as like a green, whichever your preference is. But just like with these, you can go ahead and type in texting in there. You can change the width of these lines and bold them out, or you can shrink them down, whichever you prefer there. And you can go further into your settings and change the style. You can check out the coordinates on everything within this one, and each one of these tools has access to that, and each one's going to be different. Now, this is your forecasting area, your volume based, as well as some measurements, and I primarily use these right here. So this is going to be for your stop loss and as well as your take profit. So this is going to show your risk to reward ratio. I try to just get a good idea of knowing where this is supposed to be at, get an idea of where the action's going on, and knowing, okay, that's where I see that that's going to give us some areas of what we got to keep an eye on. And then I put my area in there knowing that red line is where I need to keep an eye on. If things go sour, then I can get out. This is how I do my risk reward ratio, because I don't like seeing 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1s. That makes me think money. So I just want to see my zone. So I know my zones right here, and then I know these are the areas of interest. So if it hits there, I should be looking to get out. So that's how I operate. That just takes a lot of the psychology out of it for me. But this is all about preference. You can keep that on there just as such. We can go ahead and just undo, and you can have that on there. Like, okay, if it hits my gold, then that's 2.27. So if it does hit, then if I put in $100, then I'll make $227. You see how that works? You're already thinking about money instead of thinking about accuracy. So just keep in mind when you do use these tools, how to use them so it doesn't affect your psychology. Everybody's psychology is a little bit different. Some people can move smooth as the wind and keep that cool breeze, and it doesn't affect them at all. And some people, their hearts are racing like a jackrabbit all day long. So just know how you operate so that you can be able to trade a lot more efficient. And moving along to past that, you have your brushes, you have your highlighters that you can use in here as well too. But what I primarily use this area for is using my rectangles. This is how I create my zone. So whenever I'm getting my day started, I have two areas that or two time frames that I use this on. So I use my 15-minute time frame so I can see the previous day, just like seeing right here, okay, what happened during the previous day. I can mark out the top 15 minutes of where I've seen action hitting, and then I change that to purple. And by doing that, now I know that that purple area is yesterday's high. And just as well for the bottom, I see, bam, right there, that's the area. Okay, that's what I see as yesterday's low. Now we already see, okay, well, this opened up clear down here. We have a good chance that this could hit some areas within this imbalance or fair value gap and make its way back up there. So we want to keep an eye on that to react, where if it's going to hit up this way or possibly make its way further down. So we got a good idea when you zone that out, but then that's why we also zone out our hour. So we see here that, okay, within the hour, it's already been hit, but we have that working itself too. So this could actually create some significant for us as we see how that works. And now, so we don't get confused there, we can go ahead and change that, which I use my hours as blue. But when we have these imbalances or fair value gaps, I prefer calling them imbalances because I don't always go off the fair value gap method as what you would see right here. This is not a strong fair value gap, but it is a good imbalance on the hour. So I would go ahead and change this to an orange, and now I'm able to be prepared for that as I work down on my 15. As we see, once we get to the 15, all right, so we have it popping up. We want to see some pullback action on here, and it's even going to bounce under, we'll wait for a pullback there to react and go further down on the market, or is it going to pull back here and shoot up? And that's why we'll keep the indicators on of knowing how to react as well with that too. So as I forgot to mention up here in the indicators area, this is where your indicators are going to be to where you can hide them, where you can go to your settings and you can make adjustments to your settings to whatever indicator you use. You can go into the style, so you can change your colors, your line thickness, and even changing from your lines. You can go ahead and you can do like dashes, you can do some dots, whatever works better for you, and you can make those adjustments right here on the side. And this is where we also get into the core code sourcing for the Pine editor. So you can go ahead and tap into your indicator and you can make adjustments right there when you get familiar with that. Or you can just do a fresh coding, add that indicator, and it will be in there as your own personal indicator that you can use. Now, that's your options for doing additionals there, and we'll go ahead and hide this so we're not getting drowned out by everything. Now, right below that, you can have your text. So if you're wanting to actually put a note somewhere, you can drop your note. Okay, right here, keep an eye out, watch for pullback. If you're wanting to put a note right there, or if you have questions that you want answered, you can go ahead and put your information in there too. So when you make a screenshot of this or you publish it, now you have areas of interest that you can ask questions on and people know exactly where you're talking about. And just as well too, you can go ahead and change the lining on it. You can go ahead and change the color of the text on it, whichever helps you out as well too. Go into your settings, make adjustments here. So they're all pretty much the same when you navigate through those. Now, that's how your text works right there. This is your icon. So if you're wanting to communicate as well too, or just as like, for instance, you're like, okay, I want to keep an eye on this. If this pulls back and starts shooting up, then we know that we got a rocket here. But we could have this baby shoot all the way down if it hits right here. So I just use these for communicating. I don't use these for actually trading throughout the day, but for communicating, they come in pretty handy. You have all kinds of emojis that you can use in there. But right below that, you have your measurement. So if you're wanting to measure out how is the market navigating through this area, you know that it's 94 bars that you observed on the 15-minute zone here, and this is within 1 day, 7 hours and 30 minutes, and it's a volume at 7 million as it's in a bullish or bearish, a bearish momentum. So just remember, bearish is going down, bullish is going up. Just remember the bull knocking you in the horns and sending that up, and a bear will maul you down. So just keep that as a little familiarity on knowing what a bull and bear is. Now you have your zoom right below that. You can zoom out just by highlighting there, and then you can go ahead and click the minus, and that will take you right back out. Pretty simple. Now you have your magnet here that locks in. So just if I lock in that weak magnet, if you see me adjust this bar, see it makes it difficult to adjust the bar because it's locked in. So when you have this locked in, strong magnets or weak magnets, it can affect some of your adjustments when you're working with candles, or not candles, whenever you're working with rectangles and working with lines, trying to navigate it to a certain price range. You might notice that you're having some rough time doing it. Just go ahead and look over at your magnet area, see if that's got something to do with it, if it's highlighted on. Now your drawing right here, you can go ahead and lock in. You can keep your drawing, and then as well too, you can lock all drawings on here. So if you're wanting to make a new drawing here and it not be synced, you can have all that locked in, make a new one, and toy around with that as well too for doing your price action throughout the day and navigating. It comes in pretty handy when you lock this down and you start navigating through like this. I hit these lines quite a bit, and sometimes I'll knock them down if I don't have that lock compared to like this. So that's also pretty handy when you want to lock things and you're looking back and forth and you're not wanting to smack those around and move them and keep on hitting undo, which will distract you from your trading. So all in a nutshell, that's how everything works right there. As well as if you don't like the screen, you can go ahead and trash everything and get rid of it all. So that right there, folks, is everything on how to navigate through your trading view. I hope that you found this very useful. If you did, go ahead and drop a comment in the section below and let me know which area did you like the most. What was your favorite that you got out of this? As well to get more videos on how to trade with stock options, go ahead, give a like and subscribe. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos. This is Humble Hawgs, and I'll see you in the next one.